Prime Minister Modi will be in a short while in Chennai, and this time it is to inaugurate the new terminal complex. Hello and welcome. I'm Verghese Abraham, and we are looking at the live visuals coming in from Chennai, where the preparations are underway, where Prime Minister Modi will be coming to that airport to go ahead and inaugurate the terminal, which is being showcased as a world-class infrastructure in Chennai. The Prime Minister is visiting Chennai as part of a two-day visit to southern states of Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the swanky new terminal at Chennai Airport. The new integrated terminal building of Chennai Airport is built as per international standards. These visuals, in fact, show you a glimpse as to how the airport's new terminal looks like. It has all the traditional aspects of Chennai and Tamil Nadu interwoven into its art as well as its architecture. Any foreign person who would come to that new terminal would get a sense of Chennai's culture as well as Tamil Nadu's culture. These are the visuals coming from inside the airport, where traditional paintings as well as artworks have also been displayed. The new building will see traffic passenger coming to from 23 million to around 35 million. To discuss more on this, we are in fact joined in by Sanjeev Srivastav, a senior journalist, as well as Ramesh Sethuraman, who is a political commentator. First to you, Sanjeev, how do you see this infrastructure that has come up in Chennai? It's been part of the efforts by the Prime Minister to ensure that when it comes to infrastructure, world-class infrastructure should be given to all Indian cities. First, he's trying with the metros and then to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. But the fact remains is that when this new terminal is inaugurated, it is actually a narrative on the development push for infrastructure. How do you see this?
Well, that has been Prime Minister Modi's hallmark since he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. On the one side has been his image as an Hindutva icon, and on the other side, even in the run-up to 2014, he was seen as a Vikas Purush, or a man who is committed to development. So infrastructure, ports, airports, roads, highways, railways, these are some of the big key decisions that this government has committed itself to. And infrastructure is also the digital infrastructure. So if he wants to achieve his ambition and commitment of making India a 5 trillion economy, making India one of the developed countries by 2047, then we all know China's story to success was actually built on infrastructure. So that's something which he wants to do, and something which we have achieved to a reasonable degree in the last few years. Much needs to be done, because it's all a function also of how much money you can commit. But definitely, infrastructure is a key area of this government's work as well as narrative.
Well, let us also bring in Ramesh Sethuraman, who is a political commentator. Ramesh Sethuraman, the messaging, of course, we talk about the larger messaging on infrastructure and development, but the messaging is also about a push towards the south from the BJP. These infrastructure projects actually are trying to highlight that this is what the BJP would want to have when it comes to its political narrative in the south as well. Do you see that building being more of a political narrative rather than a narrative just on development?
No, see, let's look at it from both political perspective as well as the common man's perspective. So when a political party fights the election, ultimately they come to power. Why do they come to power? To do good to the society, to do good to the country, right? So whatever they take, of course, for example, the parties like BJP, if they have come to power once, let's say, They want to get re-elected. If they want to get re-elected, they need to win the confidence of the public. If they want to win the confidence of the public, then obviously they have to do this development work. And that's exactly Modi government is doing for the second term, is what I believe. And this is not like, this whole thing has been happening since past 1 week. And the airport was just developed with the new terminal. I mean, the new terminal of the airport has been developed over last 1 week or something, or overnight. This has been going on for a couple of years. So we have to keep it in the back of our mind that this was scheduled to open this year, and that's exactly is happening. However, when you talk about politics, is it there? Of course, every single party would do politics, and it's a development politics, and it's a healthy politics, is what I believe. I believe, and it is what I see. And this is of international standard, which is good. Let us look at the case of airports across other metro cities. Let us say Delhi. So when you talk about Delhi, it is in the outskirts, right? And second, if you look at Hyderabad, again, Hyderabad airport, they are located outside the city. And look at Bangalore, airports located outside the city. Whereas if you look at Chennai, which is one of the oldest metros, obviously you can see this is one of the largest airports, already managing quite a huge amount of passengers, not only because it's an important city within the country, but it was also a connecting hub for the global operations. So many of the international carriers are operating from Chennai. From that perspective, development of this airport, it becomes even more important. Though many times people have been talking about new airports, outside Chennai, which is like 50, 60 kilometers away. That never materialized, because the current airport itself have enough infrastructure, enough connectivity options and everything, so that you can manage it in the Chennai terminal itself. So the expansion of it, the way how it has been done currently, it is the right way forward. And I see definitely this is one of the biggest and best move by the central government under Modi's leadership.
Well, let's bring in Sanjeev Srivastava. Sanjeev Srivastava, we've been talking about the politics of the structure, and of course, we have Sridharaman, in fact, going and said, yes, of course, there is a political narrative built on it, but there's a larger narrative of bringing in development politics, and it's healthy. But then, Sanjeev Srivastava, the question has always been that the southern states have always been crying foul, saying that we don't get the kind of funds that we're supposed to get. We are driven by our own state funds to drive development in the south, and it seems that the northern states seems to be taking the large amount of funds. But over here, there seems to be in the last couple of years a conscious attempt to push in centrally funded projects. The terminal in Bengaluru, the terminal in Chennai, the port project in Miriam in Kerala. So there seems to be some kind of a attempt to actually showcase that it is not the north versus south kind of a development narrative that they are looking at. So BJP is not only trying to push that or drive away the kind of narrative that the southern regional parties have been putting up, but they're also trying to in fact push the fact that when it comes to development, there is no discrimination. Is this the truth behind this?
Well, Abraham, the issue is there has always been a north-south divide last couple of decades, because south has developed much better. It has progressed more. It is more prosperous than most states in the cow belt. So Maharashtra, Gujarat technically would be West India, but Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, MP, the north and northwestern states are much lesser developed or are much less prosperous than south. So that north-south divide has been there. I'm not very sure about the funds getting less allocated to south vis-a-vis some other parts, but definitely, to answer to your previous question, which you asked actually my fellow co-panelists, I'll try and give my thoughts on that. See, BJP was largely a cowbelt party, a North Indian party. Till thanks to Mr. Yedurappa, it gained access into Karnataka, and last 15 years or so, it has been a fairly relevant political force in Karnataka. But it is still finding its feet in Tamil Nadu, Kerala. It has made some headway in Telangana, but it's still a long way to go, and Andhra Pradesh. So these are the crucial states which account for about 145, 150 Lok Sabha seats. So the BJP has already peaked in North. They cannot get more than 25 out of 25 in Rajasthan, more than 28 out of 29 in MP, more than 26 out of 26 in, say, Gujarat. So if the BJP has to grow further and guard against any possible reverses in the North and Northwest and Central India, it has to expand its footprint in South. And it's not just a question of politics. It should also be seen, it is India's biggest party, ruling party, but still some of its critics would say that it's not a pan-national party. Its influence in south of India is rather limited. So I think it's a two-pronged approach that they have to get their act together more in south of India, as in states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. It is already a relevant political force.
Well, in fact, we have the Prime Minister along with the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. They are at the new terminal. He's been given a tour of the planning structure of the entire terminal, where he's in fact also joined in by the Governor of Tamil Nadu, N. Ravi, and we have Jyotiraditya Scindia, the Aviation Minister, also along with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, in fact, shown the pictures of preparation just ahead of how the entire terminal was in fact planned out, and we have the top leadership of the state present, as Jyotiraditya Scindia now explaining to the Prime Minister the entire planning of the new terminal. The new terminal is expected to raise the footfall towards Chennai from 23 million to 35 million. There, of course, a friendly pat on the hand of the Chief Minister by Tamil Nadu, by the Chief Minister onto the hands of Prime Minister Modi. Interestingly enough, both the leadership in Tamil Nadu cooperating, in fact, going by the protocol. The Prime Minister was not accorded the right protocol invite when it came to Hyderabad, where KCR, the Chief Minister of Telangana, skipped the welcoming of the Prime Minister when he landed at Begumpet Airport. And here we have the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin in welcoming the Prime Minister and also attending the inaugural event as part of the protocol invite. The Prime Minister is on a two-day visit to the southern states of Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Karnataka. A slew of projects are being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Earlier in Hyderabad, he inaugurated the 5 highways which will connect the cities, twin cities of Secunderabad and Hyderabad to many of the trading centers in the south, as well as the ports. He also went ahead and flagged off the Vande Bharat Express and also laid the foundation stone for the redevelopment of the Secunderabad railway station. And here we have the Prime Minister visiting Chennai, and there the friendly tap by Chief Minister Stalin on Prime Minister's arm, and both of them sharing a light moment as Jyotiraditya Scindia and R.N. Ravi also look on at the explanation, giving a detailed plan of the terminal. हमारे संवाददाता नीरज सिंह हमारे साथ जुड़ गए हैं, उनसे हम बातचीत करेंगे। नीरज, प्रधानमंत्री चेन्नई पहुंच गए हैं और इस वक्त हम दर्शकों को वो दृश्य दिखा रहे हैं जब प्रधानमंत्री ने वहां पर जो प्रदर्शनी लगाई गई। Well, Sanjeeva, we sorry I had to in fact interrupt in as visuals were coming in from Chennai. You were in fact speaking about the divide that was there and said it historically did exist, but then you were talking about how the BJP was trying to push into the south, trying to break through the what I would call as the Vindhya psychological factor.
Are you asking me?
Yes, Mr. Sanjeevas. Srivastava, you can hear me?
Hello? Is that question to me?
Yes, the question is to you. Sanjeev, Sanjeev Srivastava, what I was asking, sorry, I had to interrupt you because the
No
live
problem.
visuals were coming in from Chennai Airport. What I was asking is that you were saying that the BJP was trying to cross over the psychological barrier of the Vindhyas. So please continue with that statement of yours.
Yeah. No, it's more than psychological. It's very much real. It's grounded. It's a pragmatic and practical thing to do if it has to really build and project itself as a pan-national party. Because if it's that's one of the handicaps which BJP faces till now, is that it is largely seen as a party which does not have a significant presence south of India. So that is an anomaly which the Prime Minister Modi and his party, they are very keen to address that. And that's why this very systematic push, even in state Tamil Nadu, where this airport terminal is right now being inaugurated, the BJP has been trying to get its act together the last few years. It did tie up or had some kind of understanding with one faction of the AIADMK, and so it has to make itself relevant as a relevant potent political force in states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala if it has to really make up for some of the real or perceived losses it may suffer in the future in North, and also to have this national party image and to grow from perhaps 300 to 325 or 330, 340 seats in the next elections or in 2029. It has to somehow make itself more relevant, more powerful as a political party south of India, because that's the region which accounts for about 150 out of 545 odd Lok Sabha seats. So it is not just development, which is a key area for Prime Minister's dream of seeing a resurgent, vibrant, and a prosperous India by 2047, one of the developed countries India should become. But it's also grounded on political, real politics, that they have to have their presence on a more firmer footing in South India.
Firmer footing in South India. Ramesh Sethuraman, in fact, Sanjeev Srivastava, in fact, goes and said that you need to have a firm footing in South India if you have to grow. You have seen how the BJP has been trying to, get a hold in Tamil Nadu. It had got an IPS officer like Annamalai to the forefront of the politics there. They're trying to get new young faces. They had a very young leadership when it comes to the state leadership, but yet that psychological block, the Vindhya psychological block that the party is having is still there, though it has not been able to cash in on these youngsters who are having some kind of influence, but not enough of an influence that could be a direct or have a direct confrontation with a Dravidian ideology. Is that the situation?
Okay. So if we analyze it a little better, we will understand the nuances of it. First and foremost thing, if you talk about Kerala, let's say, right, you have UDF and LDF, and they come one after the other. Exactly the same way it has been happening in Tamil Nadu, where after Congress lost it to Dravidian parties, so DMK and then ADMK and DMK and ADMK. So that's the way they have been repeatedly coming, right? In fact, when you talk about the soft Hindutva, or anything that is anti-Dravidian ideology related, right? So they always, rather I would talk or call it as soft Dravidianism, right? That's what ADMK was representing. So it was half soft Dravidianism and half, I would call it as a Hindutva kind of a thing. And the leaders like Jayalalitha or MGR, G. Ramachandran. So both of them are seen as an icon for that from that perspective. Having said that, this is not the first time BJP is trying to enter into the state or trying to grow or whatever. In fact, when Mr. Advani, Lal Kishan Advani ji, when he was coming, for Rath Yatra, he had amazing response in Tamil Nadu, and during that time also, following that in the elections also, we produced MPs from the state. But having said that, somehow down the line, the party lost its steam because of many reasons. I don't want to explain, because anyway, past is past. But having said that, yes, they are focusing now here because as Mr. Sanjeev was mentioning, Absolutely, they have peaked out in most of the northern belt, and they need to focus on the south, and that's exactly they are doing. So probably this is like episode 2.0 for BJP in Tamil Nadu is what I see. Having said that, one of the important thing is, yes, they are bringing in fresh blood, they are trying new methodologies and new strategy or whatsoever. Why people don't believe in BJP today? I mean, one thing that I would like to categorically mention here is that the BJP as a party has grown in Tamil Nadu, and the what do you call the so-called vote share has also significantly grown. Meaning they used to be seen as mere 2% party, 2% vote share party, and today they have crossed, I would say, 8.5% to 9%, and it keeps growing. So that's very, very important that we need to factor in. And apart from that, if you want to continue to grow, you have to do a lot. What is it? If you are trying to mimic Dravidian parties, then people are not going to trust you simply because your ideology, or at least the ideologies and uh, thought process that you put in front of the people, this is not Dravidian kind of an ideology. This is exactly opposite. And if you're going to talk to people what you are going to bring onto the table, you have to be very, very clear. If you are going to dilly-dally and say that, we also take these guys as ideology, okay, we are also kind of inclined towards Dravidianism and all these things, then people lose confidence. And that's exactly where BJP lost its foothold during the past. And second thing, instead of growing the party in the state in the past, they were allying only with the Dravidian parties again and again and again. And this also became a huge challenge. Today, if you look at it, one of the main ally in the state and one of the largest party in the state is Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, or ADMK, which is seen as a south pole of Dravidian politics, if DMK is seen as a north pole of the Dravidian politics. And those guys say every time BJP comes, and because of them, we are losing votes, and we have to carry BJP on our shoulder. So these are all some of the excuses or complaints that are there from ADMK side. So instead of focusing on this, parallelly, BJP as a party should have focused on strengthening its grassroots presence, and they should have continued to grow to a point where any party should have thought that we should have BJP on our fold for getting our victory in the election. So that is extremely important. And of course, Sanjay ji was talking about again Yediyurappa ji, Karnataka, and all these things. Yes, but the same can also be repeated in Tamil Nadu. But what is important is a very clear narrative. You can't mince your words and you can't compromise on what you say, because people are looking for it. Because what some of the people say is, if the BJP, which is saying that it is opposite to what DMK or ADMK, and also come and say that we are like another Dravidian party, then why would I vote for a mimicking person rather, or mimicking party, rather than voting for the original, even if I don't like them? So that's the way people are actually thinking. So if you want to, people are looking for a change. If they are looking for a change, you need to clearly instill confidence in their mind that we are bringing that change, and we are 100% different from the top what is existing in the present political field of the state. And we will, and we also have to clearly narrate what can be done, what we will do to the state, how exactly we will do to the state. I'll give an example. So there are many development schemes that has been brought by the Modi government, but none of those schemes were kind of taken to the grassroots level in Tamil Nadu by BJP and use it for cashing in for votes. They never ever did that. And also, whenever the state government, without putting any money or without putting any effort, they take credit for the schemes of the central government. that is not being clarified. Many times people think that, oh, this government, DMK government is doing it for us. Oh, free ration, DMK government is doing it for us.
But that
That's
has been the
classic example, right?
situation in all
Whereas in
the
reality,
states. I mean, Siddharaman, that has been the situation in all the states. Most of them do take, kind of credit for the system that has been put in place by the center. So it's always been that this credit war has been going on for quite some time. So it's nothing new. But the question here is, and I'd like to bring even Sanjeev Srivastava to this, is that, see, the BJP at the moment can act only as a third person in most of these places, because you already have a bipolar kind of an entrance system. Of course, in Telangana, you still don't have, you have one party that is dominating it. But in Andhra Pradesh, you have a TDP and a YSRCP. In Tamil Nadu, of course, you have AIDMK and a DMK. In Kerala, UDF and LDF. So barring Karnataka, all these places have kind of a bipolar system of parties who are in oscillate, and people electorate oscillates from one to the other. So you can only be an ally or expect their support at the national level. So this is the only option left for them. So how difficult it is for the BJP to actually crack these bipolar systems that are already there. It has to take out one of those parties to become the principal opposition. Otherwise, it won't be able to make any kind of a difference on the ground other than being allies on the ground or at the national level. Is that the only option left for the BJP?
Well, it has to either ally with one of the two parties, or like in the old NDA days of Vajpayee Advani, it has to either ally or replace. Those are the two options left. Both are easier said than done. See, the problem of BJP in southern India is that they are, like you are rightly saying, they have to take the challenge of regional satraps, DMK or the Marxist Communist of Kerala are also like a regional party. So is the other side, Congress plus Muslim League. Similarly, in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, you now have a dominant regional force, or like in Andhra, you've mentioned two dominant regional parties. So it is easier to replace Congress party. For the BJP, the last 10 years, they have been more successful in states where they were having a direct contest with the Congress. So where they were in a direct contest with Congress, they could easily dethrone them or defeat them in a straight contest. In South, that situation is different. Congress was already piggybacking in a state like Tamil Nadu on either AIDMK or DMK for the last, since really more than 3 decades. Congress by itself has not been a relevant force. So in state assembly elections, it ceded a lot of ground to its regional partner. And in the Lok Sabha election, it did bargain and get, depending on its that time strength and popularity or locus standi, the right number of seats for the national election for Lok Sabha. Now even the Congress party, let's see how many seats DMK is going to offer them this time, considering the Congress party's plight all over the country. So the BJP just has to devote more time. There will be no overnight success in South, as it has made gains in some northern Indian states where it was directly pitted against the Congress party. So a national party against a national party, BJP could replace Congress and win over the people. So that's one problem the BJP is facing. The other problem is that the BJP's, see, the development in all this is one thing. It's great. But the real underlying theme of the BJP is Hindutva. Now, that also does not cut as much ice in south of India as it does in some of the north and northwestern Indian states. So
right, Srivastava. In fact, thank you for giving those perspectives. We, in fact, have to end this special discussion right now. Stay tuned for programs on News 9.